5 years ago, Eminem dropped Music to Be Murdered By out of nowhere. But how well has it aged? Hey guys, my name is Jacob and welcome back to Eminem Hub, the channel where we do reactions, we do reviews, and today we're doing a retrospective video on the Eminem album Music to Be Murdered By. Now this video will cover the context of the album, a song-by-song retrospective with rankings, and how it stacks up with the rest of his discography. The year was 2020. It had only been 1.5 years since the surprise drop of Kamikaze, Eminem's response to the hate from Revival. And on January 17th, Eminem dropped his 11th studio album, Music to Be Murdered By, an album inspired by the 1958 Alfred Hitchcock and Jeff Alexander spoken word album. And just like its predecessor, it was dropped out of nowhere. The title, cover art, and interludes mimic Hitchcock's aesthetic and themes with a heavy use of horror imagery. With continued themes of darkness, murder, legacy, and technical mastery, this is what encompassed Music to Be Murdered By. Some notable pieces of information: Dr. Dre returns to production for the first time since Revival in 2017. Darkness and Godzilla were the lead singles, with Darkness getting a music video with the release of the album, while Godzilla's popularity made Eminem release another music video with Cole Bennett and Lyrical Lemonade for this song. The album debuted at number 1 on the top Billboard 200, with 279,000 album equivalent units sold in its first week. It also reached number 1 in 16 countries worldwide. Eminem became the first artist to have 10 consecutive number 1 albums in the US. When the album dropped, there were mixed to positive reviews. Some critics praised the production and the features, others criticized Eminem's delivery, bars, or thematic inconsistency. Anthony Fantano, aka The Needle Drop, gave the album a strong 5 out of 10, saying, "Eminem sounding ever so slightly less stuck in his ways. Music to Be Murdered By is a step in the right direction following Revival and Kamikaze." Music to Be Murdered By showcases one of the most diverse production palettes in Eminem's discography, almost on the same level as Marshall Mathers LP2, modern trap, classic boom bap, and horrorcore influences. Tracks like Godzilla, Unaccommodating, and Lock It Up lean heavily into contemporary trap production, complete with fast hi-hats, booming 808s, and melodic hooks that reflect Eminem's effort to stay relevant in a rapidly evolving rap landscape. At the same time, songs like Ya Ya, You Gon' Learn, and I Will return to a traditional boom bap, providing a gritty old school canvas for lyrical intensity with fellow veterans like Royce da 95 and Black Thought. The album also dips into eerie theatrical horrorcore territory that ties into its Hitchcock-inspired theme. Tracks like Darkness, Marsh, and Little Engine feature ominous piano loops, unsettling synths, and carnival-esque chaos that reinforce the murder music concept. While this genre hopping keeps the album sonically engaging, it also creates a sense of inconsistency, with no single sound or tone unifying the project. Still, the variety shows Eminem's versatility and his ability to adapt across styles while maintaining his core identity as a technical rapper. One of the standout elements of Music to Be Murdered By is the sheer variety in its guest features. You've got mainstream pop collaborators returning, like Ed Sheeran on Those Kind of Nights, Skylar Grey once again on Leaving Heaven, and then you've got the more traditional rap features like Royce and Black Thought on Ya Ya, King Crooked, and Joel Ortiz on I Will, essentially a mini Slaughterhouse reunion, and of course the late Juice WRLD on Godzilla, a track that managed to appeal to the mainstream but with a lyrical flex. Anderson .Paak also on Lock It Up, bringing a laid-back, cool contrast to M's intensity. And then finally Don Toliver, more melodic sound, signaling M's awareness of younger trends. So, what does this all mean? Eminem was clearly trying to bridge generations and styles, pulling together underground lyrical heavyweights and chart toppers alike. It's that blend of old school and new school, hardcore rap and commercial accessibility, giving Eminem a chance to let go of all the things he said about the new generation in the prior album. But it does also make the album feel a little convoluted, juggling multiple identities. Is it horrorcore? Is it radio rap? Is it a lyrical flex tape or a concept album? It's probably all of them. The album is called Music to be Murdered By. As I said before, the cover mimics Alfred Hitchcock's 1958 record, complete with axe and shovel imagery. It even opens with Premonition and has Alfred interludes to tie the theme together. So, did it follow through? Now, where the concept works, Darkness is a haunting conceptual track that tackles real-life horror. Little Engine, Martian You Gon' Learn, moments of manic energy and wordplay that feel like Emma's going full psycho-lyrical. Where it falls short is the pop-inspired tracks like Those Kind of Nights or Farewell. They kind of break the immersion. While they aren't as bad as some of the lows from Kamikaze or Revival, they do feel out of place in an album that's supposedly themed about murder. And again, the concept is inconsistent. It pops up in the intro, interludes a few tracks, then vanishes into standard Eminem territory with disses, relationships, technical flexing, etc. So the murder concept is more of an aesthetic frame rather than a true narrative. It gives the album a cool title and some creative branding, but it doesn't unify the entire project in a way that concept albums like Relapse or The Eminem Show did. So we're going to go through each song. We're going to start with the intro here, Premonition. A great opener, sets the tone really well with the murdering sound effects and a slick beat and vocals over the top. And clearly he is still angry at the haters here. I'm going to give this one a B+. Unaccommodating, featuring Young M.A. A different kind of song and collab with Eminem than we're used to, but I kind of digged it. Eminem has some hungry verses, and I think Young M.A. got a good feature here, good length of time on the song. Unfortunately, there are a few corny lines here and there. The Osama lines on the chorus, Bin Laden lately, you know, it's a bit dad jokey, but it doesn't drag it down so much, so I'm still going to give this one a B-. Moving on, we've got You Gon' Learn, featuring Royce da 5'9" and White Gold. Awesome production here with the chipmunk vocals incorporated into the beat. Great verses from Eminem and Royce dealing with some political issues like gun control, and a decent hook from White Gold. I'm going to give this one an A. Next up, we have the Alfred interlude, a good callback to the concept even if the next song completely abandons it, and that song is Those Kind of Nights featuring Ed Sheeran. This song isn't serious, obviously. Ed Sheeran and M have always been a strange pairing, and honestly, I think the hook doesn't really work with the song at all, but it's not a horrible song and it does have some funny moments. I'm going to give this one a C. Moving on, we've probably got the one song that took me out of the album completely, In Too Deep. Once again, completely unrelated to the album, void of any relation at all. The chorus is very jarring and the verses are okay, but this probably could have fit on Revival, so I'm going to give this one a D. Now, a song that wouldn't fit on Revival is Godzilla, featuring the late Juice WRLD. Now, this is obviously a viral moment for the album. Catchy beat and a decent hook from the late Juice WRLD. The music video was great too. Eminem has some great verses here with quotables, namely the Diddy with the cakewalk, and the crazy last verse as well, where he spits probably his fastest verse to date. And while this is something that wouldn't be great on the aux if you were in a car with your friends, it is still an incredibly impressive feat technically, so I will give the song a B+. Next up, we have Darkness. Now, this is probably the best, no, not probably, this is the best song on the album. It's a powerful concept and it fits in with the theme of the album greatly. Eminem jumps into the shoes of the 2017 Las Vegas shooter and somehow mirrors it with himself performing at a show, while also speaking on gun violence in America. And he achieves that with Eminem's ability to storytell and play characters shining through once again. It probably is his best concept song since Bad Guy on the Marshall Mathers LP2 4 albums ago. So this is inevitably getting an S tier. So this round of songs is probably the best on the album. Next up we have Leaving Heaven featuring Skylar Grey. Yes, she's on another song, and that's not the end of her if you listen to The Death of Slim Shady. While he has spoken about his father before, notably on Rhyme or Reason, this was a different angle to approach this subject matter. So content-wise, this song is interesting, how he brutally disses his dad and talks about joining him in hell just to spit on his face. Kind of deserved for ditching him his entire life. I think the mixing on Skylar's vocals on the chorus are a little weird. The singing is okay, I'll give her that. Some of the delivery is a little choppy from Eminem as well, but pays off in sections where when you do have some true ear candy in the second verse, namely, it's a decent entry into the album. I'm gonna give this a B. Next up we have Yaya featuring Royce, Black Thought, and Q-Tip. A lot of Eminem fans seem to hate this song, and I don't get the hate at all. It's a lyrical cipher with Black Thought, Royce, and Q-Tip all popping off. I love all their verses. The beat and the ya bit, the ya, it can be full on. It can be full on, I get it. But I do think it supports the intensity of the song, and overall, I'm giving this one a B+. Next up, we got the Stepdad intro. It gets the message across. And then Stepdad, the song. I actually unironically like the beat on this one. And look, the chorus, it's a bit in your face. I understand. I get it. I actually think this is a PG version of Insane. If you hear what his stepdad did to him in that song, yeah, it's polarizing, that comparison. But look, this is an okay song. I think it's a C+. It's not a bad entry on the album, but not the best either. Number 13 in the track list, we have Marsh. The wordplay is very much heavy in this song. It's very polarizing. A bit too on the nose for me, to be honest. I'm giving this one a D+. And then we move on to one of the best songs on the album, Never Love Again. Actually a great song concept, and it's slapped on massively. The whole song is a double entendre. It's about his relationship with a woman that is actually a relationship about drugs as well. It is an entendre, so it could be applied to both. So I love the nostalgic inducing beat on this one as well. I'm really not sure what it is. It just irks that feeling out of me. And honestly, this is an A-. This is a really great song. Very underrated. Little Engine is also an underrated song. I don't hear anyone ever talking about this one. It's zany, it's got those horror vibes, perfectly matching the album. And yeah, one of the few songs that stuck to the concept. I like M's playful attitude in this one too. And it's getting a B. Next up, we have Lock It Up featuring Anderson .Paak. This could have been an A. It has a great beat. It has a top 3 best feature on the album from Anderson .Paak. I love his vocals, and I need to check out more of his music, and I keep forgetting. In fact, the only problem with this song is Eminem, ironically. Especially his second verse with the slightly cringy Marvel references. I get he was heaps into comic books and seems to love Marvel, but going green like Incredible Hulk, come on, man. This song gets a B, unfortunately. Next up, we have probably the worst song on the album, Farewell. Somewhat of a catchy chorus is the only thing I can give it. Everything else falls flat, especially the verses. Again, nothing to do with the concept, and not as emotional as it tries to be either. It's a D-. It really is. Following up with that, we got No Regrets featuring Don Toliver. I kind of like the chill vibes the song gives off. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing special. A decent hook from Don Toliver, and more of a background song in reality, so C+. And the last song on the album is I Will featuring King Crooked, Royce, and Joel Ortiz. It's Ortiz, I never know this. It's a Slaughterhouse reunion, solid verses, decent beat, old school chorus from M. What's not to love? Is getting a B. And finally, we close the album with Alfred. It's an eerie entry from Alfred. Good night to those who were murdered. Now, how has the album aged? I don't think the themes and the concept of this album ever were really thought of except in the cover, a few songs, and the skits. Although, unlike The Death of Slim Shady, this wasn't directly labeled as a concept album, so I think it isn't judged as harshly on this merit. And to be honest, I think after The Death of Slim Shady, I have realized this album has more consistent quality, even if I prefer Eminem's voice and backing vocals on The Death of Slim Shady. Huge juggernauts like Godzilla have faded slightly as the rapping fast gimmick has increasingly become more common in M's music, but quality songwriting on entries like Darkness and Never Love Again, and even the content matter on Leaving Heaven, shows he was more interested in exploring new themes rather than callbacks like in T-DOS. I think this album doesn't necessarily have a standout element to it like every other Eminem album except for Revival, making it an easy one to forget. I think this was still probably his most consistent album for quality since Marshall Mathers LP2. So my overall ranking for this album is a 6.7 out of 10, which makes it number 1 in this new series I've started. So it's at number 1. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you comment your rankings below. What's your favorite song? What's your least favorite song? And like and subscribe for more retrospectives. And finally, which Eminem album would you like me to cover next? Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.